you to find new ways of using what's inside the box, not outside the box, but inside the box. And this is inside the box are the elements and ingredients that you can lay your hands on really easily, the things you always work with. And then you can also think about what's just sort of near the box, things you can get hold of if you need to. And then what you're doing is you're thinking, okay, how might we use any of these elements, these things, differently? And the framework you use to explore different ways of using these elements is called SCAMPER. And SCAMPER is an acronym. And basically SCAMPER, the S stands for substitute. So you start off by thinking, what could we substitute for this thing that's inside the box? So example there is Levi's substituted zips for buttons when they made 501s. Okay, next ingredient is to combine. So how can we take two ingredients and combine them together? And what would happen if we did? The example you can see there is a mythical creature, half man, half lion. Well, what happens if you're half man, half lion? Well, you become big and strong. Okay, so it's a very creative process to combine things. You can look at adaptation. And adaptation is, okay, we can take one thing and borrow or adopt or copy partly. So the example there is a wine press, and Gutenberg used the wine press when he was trying to figure out how to make a printing press work. Okay, you can modify elements in the box. So modifying is take one ingredient, one element, and make it bigger or smaller, make it stronger or weaker, make it longer or shorter, taller or shorter. You get the idea. The example there is Post-it notes. The guy who invented Post-it notes was trying to invent super glue, but instead of making strong glue, he made weak glue and found it quite useful. Put to other uses is the P in SCAMPER. The example there is Marmite, which is the waste product from the brewing industry. So it gets used as a yeast extract food. So take one ingredient in your box and think, well, how could we use that to do something else completely different? What would happen if we did? The E is for eliminate, and the example here is a mobile phone from the 1990s where the makers eliminated the call out function, so it could receive calls but not make them. And you think, well, why would you do that? Well, this was the perfect phone for parents buying their kids a cheap, almost disposable phone that they could ring them and say, where are you? But the kids couldn't run up a phone bill. Okay, so take one element, get rid of it. What happens? Or you can rearrange things in time and space. So pay-as-you-go contract is just a rearrangement of how to pay for a phone from a contract. The continue as guest button on an e-commerce site just gets you to put all your details in first and then probably set up an account later. So rearranging things in time or space. What happens if you do? So all of those allow you to think of different ways that you can rearrange the ingredients that are inside your box or nearby the box. So first of all, make a list of all the things in the box, make a list of all the things nearby, and then one by one, two by two, whatever, put them through all the different stages of SCAMPER, and then ask, okay, what can we use these for?